This is Women's Leadership Success Radio Podcast, our big 100th show. Woohoo! We are doing a special 3-part series on Communicate Like a Leader, especially for women. This is part 2, Feeling Felt, the Importance of Deepening Relationships. Have you ever asked yourself, is networking a waste of time since it's not billable? How do you decide which relationships will have the most value for you and your coworkers? How do you leverage relationships so you truly have more impact, influence, and income? We're going to be talking about that today. So listen to this special series and this show. They're guaranteed to help you be a better leader and advance your career.
Welcome to Women's Leadership Podcast, showing you how to influence people, improve your performance, and advance your career. Brought to you by women's leadership and career expert Sabrina Braham and womensleadershipsuccess.com. Here's your chance to meet women trendsetters leading the way to success, accomplishment, and balance in business and life. No matter if you're a manager, CEO, or entrepreneur, join Sabrina for coaching and no-nonsense advice to improve your career and bottom line.
This is Women's Leadership Success, episode number 100. Woohoo! We are so excited about this being our 100th show. And this is part 2 of a 3-part series on communicating like a leader. And the show's theme is the importance of deepening relationships. But first, I would like to introduce Tim Warren, my husband, co-founder of the show, and my very best friend, who is here today to interview me and help celebrate the 100th show. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Sabrina. I am so very proud of you, and I'm so very grateful to the literally hundreds of thousands of listeners and downloads that we've had over the years on this show. And I'm super tickled to be on this show and to be celebrating this epic 100th show with you.
Yes, I'm so excited about that. And we were just looking at our statistics and saw that we've had 319,000 downloads. And of course, as you know, our goal for the year is 500,000 downloads. So we're really excited about it. And we've been doing this show for 10 years. And let's talk about why we do it. Do you have anything to say on that? And then I'll make some comments.
Well, I know that that you've been helping women advance their careers and be better leaders in corporations and businesses, entrepreneurs for so many years. And it seemed, we've been together, 24, 25 years, and it seemed that...
Actually, 26, my dear.
26. See what happens when we're becoming an old married couple. I can't even remember how long. It's been 26 glorious years. And but one of the common themes that we both noticed is that you... amongst your clients, which were men and women, there was a predominance of you helping women have significant progress in their leadership, whether they were lower management or they were already C-suite, and really helping them shift the balance. And I'm also an entrepreneur and also a business coach, and I recognize the disparity between opportunities for men and women. And so I'm a huge a women's advocate as well. And so that's why I'm honored to do this with you and to see the progress you've made over these last 10 years.
I really appreciate that. And without your support and you're helping to do the production on the show, it would not be happening. So thank you so much for that. And personally, my great passion is to help women to get promoted, to be as successful as they can possibly be in their careers, in their businesses, and in their personal lives. And so that's my passion for doing this show. Can we put this on hold for a minute and take care of the dog?
One.
So we just hopefully have taken care of the dog. We have a 16-and-a-half-year-old dog we got from a rescue center who has gone blind and partially deaf, and we dearly love him and are doing the best to make his last time on earth as pleasant as possible. So he barks sometimes just because he can't see very well. So back to the show. So
why do you do it, Sabrina? What's your motivation?
Well, what I said was I do it because I have a great passion for women to be successful. And I've personally gone from not feeling like I was capable of doing anything and getting poor grades to getting straight A's and graduating with a master's degree in psychology and being very successful in business. So I've experienced the gamut of feeling like a failure and feeling like a great success. And I want everybody else to have that experience of being a great success. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. So as I mentioned, we've had 319,000 downloads. We want to get 500,000. We really need your 5-star reviews on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And we just joined that one. So if you could actually be our first review on there, that would be really fun and really exciting. And now, Tim,
I want to make a comment about the reviews is where they play in and why they're so important, not only to us, but to you, the listeners, the women out there, is that the more people hear and learn about this show, the more women are going to get the tools, the guidance, the support that that will help them be better leaders and to help them take a greater leadership role in not only in business, but in life and politics. And God knows we need that in the world. And so that's why I say, give us lots of reviews, help more women find the show, help them get more empowered, and you as a community can help bring some more balance to the world. And I'm saying that from a man's perspective. So go women.
Okay.
Okay, so we get right into the topic of this series, which is a great series, really communicating like a leader. And it's been kind of funny for us to put these together. We don't often create the scripts or the questions together, and so it's been a communication opportunity for us.
really
to put together this series. And so this show number 100, the theme of this one is the importance of deep listening. So the first question for you, Sabrina, is what is the importance of deepening? It's not deep listening. I apologize. It's deepening relationships. What is the importance of deepening relationships to communicate like a leader, especially for women?
So what in the first episode of this series, we were talking about Susan, and she was a star performer, doing great, not getting promoted, couldn't understand why, and basically she wasn't out there building relationships. And like so many women, she thought of networking as a waste of time. Why should she do that when she's doing such great work? But the reality is, it isn't really networking we need to do. It's deepening relationships. And one is superficial, and the other is relationships. So you could meet 100 people in a networking event and never have any contact with them again. Or you could make an effort to deepen relationships with 5 people and have more contact with those 5 people that would help you have more influence and impact and even increase your income.
Let me jump in there. And in case you guys didn't hear it, that the show she references, that would be Women's Leadership Success number 99. And Sabrina gets deeply into a really compelling story about a client that she coached and how it really made a huge difference in her life. And she had about a 300% increase in her income. Mm-hmm. So you touched on the deepening relationships versus networking. So can you go a little deeper into the difference between networking and deeper relationship? Why is one superficial and one is really truly building relationships?
I almost think of networking as tag you're it. Okay, I hand you my card. I gave you my elevator speech. Now I go on to the next person. As opposed to, I'm really wanting to develop a relationship with the person. What that means is several things. It's going to take more time. It can't just be a one-off. It's going to take time, and there's certain things that you need to do as you're deepening that relationship so that you'll have more influence, impact, and make more money.
So what are some of those things that someone should do to really deepen the relationship? And I know that previously you talked about awareness, and you and I've talked about this awareness of another person versus your own self-awareness.
Right. And so the first thing is your own self-awareness. And self-awareness is the foundational piece of all emotional intelligence. And it's the foundational piece for being a transformational leader. And in this context of deepening relationships, there's two things that are really important for you to be aware of. One are your strengths. What are you really good at? And what are your gaps? You always need to be thinking about the next level you want to reach, whether it's a promotion or level of leadership in your own business. It's what are your gaps? What are the areas that you're not highly skilled at? That is the super tip to internally know about yourself as you begin to deepen relationships with others.
So I get that having self-awareness of what your strengths are and what your opportunity gaps are key. But where does that fit into the other person and finding out about their skill sets and what they need and maybe how you can enhance their relationship through your skills?
Okay, so to begin with, let's imagine 1 to 5 people that you've decided would be good for you to connect with on a deeper level. And the first thing you want to do is you want to find out what's unique about the person you're talking to. And in episode 99, we talked a lot about the importance of really good listening. So you're listening to hear what's unique about them. And you also want to find out and ask questions to find out what their expertise is. And you can literally just ask that question. You can say, what is your expertise? What do you see as your expertise or your strengths? And as you ask those questions, it will begin to inform you which people could be helpful to you in terms of helping you to fill in your gaps and become more of an expert. And it can even inform you in terms of something that you have a great strength at that they may have a gap at where you could help them.
That really makes sense, to find out really where you can complement each other. I've always thought that we all have what I call our gray areas and things we don't know how to do or don't like to do or don't have the time to do, or all the above. And you may find someone that's in your team or you want to have on your team that's got that skill set that you have a gray area, and being able to complement each other is a great gift. And I get that the only way that you're going to find that out is by asking for questions. What other things, when you're deepening that relationship with that other person, can you do, especially in a work environment? And let's say this person's your superior, and what is it you can ask them? How can you deepen that relationship by deepening your involvement with them?
Well, if you know what their expertise is, and it's something that you feel is on your top list of things that you want to improve in yourself, gaps that you'd like to fill in, you can ask them for advice about what's the next step you could take in that area. And this is it's really important, and you don't want to do that casually, because if you're going to ask them for a suggestion, 95% of the time, you're going to now take action on that suggestion. And so you want to be judicial about who you ask and what it is that they've told you to do. Is this something that you can go actually try out and implement? And let's assume that you can and you do. Then that goes into letting them know what you did. Hey, you gave me this great suggestion to go talk to Joe Smith, and I actually went out to lunch with him, and this is what I found out, and this is how it helped me. And I'm wondering if you have another suggestion about X, or you might not even go there. You might just give them a report on what you did and thank them for that suggestion and what you did with it.
Nice.
These people are very responsive to people that they help that actually take action. It seems so obvious, but the majority of people ask questions, and number one, they either don't take action or they never get back to the other person with what they actually did, so they can leverage that experience for both themselves and the other person.
Excellent. Well, what I'm hearing is and seeing is really multiple layers of a relationship. There's the start of the relationship, there's the discovery and the deepening of the relationship with the other person, and then there's kind of the continuation and the further deepening by asking for advice, getting suggestions, and then keeping them in the loop. So moving forward, what advice do you have to continue to develop that connection, so that you have more impact and influence, not only in their life, but how they can have that in yours, and then how collectively you can have more impact in your business or career?
Okay. I'm going to also suggest with that person, so let's say their idea was really good, and it's really an area that you would like to not only learn more about, but you would like to begin to have more visibility in that area. So you could ask that person for a stretch assignment that would help with that. Or you could go and ask your boss or a boss in another area for a stretch assignment, maybe getting on a committee where you would have an opportunity to learn this thing more, or to influence the decisions that are being made. So asking for a stretch assignment can be a really good one. And even if the person who gave you the good idea to begin with didn't suggest the stretch assignment, you might want to keep them in the loop and let them know what you're doing. You want to get your deepening relationships, or what one person that's very successful at this calls her phone of friends. You want to get them engaged and enrolled in what you're doing and the successes you're having. And to continue to develop your connection so that you have more impact and influence, this is part of it. You want to make regular contact with those people. A female director that I work with, who's actually on a fast track to become a vice president, she told me that she has 50 phone friends. And that seems like a lot. Don't be overwhelmed by that. You might start with 5, but I asked her, well, how often do you keep in contact with them? And she said, once a month. And I said, well, isn't that a lot of work? And she said, oh no, I'm so engaged with these people and enjoy them so much that it isn't work at all. And I keep them, I have a list of them, and I keep track of how often I've contacted them so that I do that on a regular basis.
Wow. And besides staying in touch with them, what what is the nature of these conversations when she's reconnecting and deepening these relationships?
That's a super good question. So the nature is, it could be to share a success you've had or something you did. It could be just checking in with them and asking them how they're doing and looking for an opportunity to give back. In the past week, 3 of my coaching clients found opportunities. One sent an article out of Business Week about something that this person that their phone a friend had been saying was important to them. And here was an article right in Business Week about the very subject with the very company they had been talking about. So she sent that article over. Another person, when she found out the struggle they were having in a certain area, she had another phone a friend she could connect this person up with, and that saved this particular person a lot of time and energy because now they got the information they needed right away. So you're not just looking for how they can help you, you're looking for how you can help them. Cialdini in the Psychology of Influence calls that the law of reciprocity. We're always looking for how can we reciprocate? How do we give? How can we give back to others?
Well, I certainly know that's something that you and I personally believe in our life and in our business, and I might say it's a driver for why we're doing this show and why we have done this show for so many years.
Exactly.
Is to opportunity to give back. So this is a process. This is a skill like anything, and which can be developed over time, and not only quantity but qualitatively. So, from your perspective, what are some ways that women can keep developing this process to go deeper and make it part of their, I might say, business and life strategy?
Okay, so the first one is start doing it. And what a lot of women will tell me is, well, they don't have time for that. And bottom line is you need to get more efficient with your time, because unless you take time to do this, you will not advance your career as quickly as you could otherwise. This will take light years off your getting advanced. I just had a woman, a coaching client who went from basically doing a job that was pretty tedious to following the advice and doing this, to moving from that tedious job and skipping over being an assistant manager in a department and going right to manager. And she was able to do that with the coaching suggestions I gave her, and also with the good phone of friends and connections she was making. So and once you do that, you want to adapt quickly to any new suggestions they give you, implement them right away. You want to give them feedback. Tell them thank you for the help. Follow up with some kind of a note or a gift. Paper, hard copy notes are greatly appreciated by people, and very few people have them. So some type of note, a gift could be a Starbucks card. It could be a book that you really like. It could be something that you personally deliver to their office. A bag of apples from your garden. It's more the gratitude you're expressing directly to the person is the most important thing than the cost or the type of item.
Well, you're really good at this. I know that both sharing articles from Harvard Business Review that you think are relevant and would be helpful to clients. Constantly, our Amazon Prime account is active, and you're sending gifts all the time, which is great. I love the example that you gave of the woman just a moment ago. So the fact that not only she listened to you, but more importantly, she took action. She followed your advice. She skipped over assistant manager. What do you think that was worth to her in her life and her business and her career?
She actually, I asked her, so she bought a package of 6 sessions from me of coaching. And I asked her, and that was a few months ago, and all this has taken place in this time. I asked her if she got the value of what she paid for the coaching. Did she get that back from the new job she took? And she said that it had increased her salary 10%. So it way, way more than covered the coaching cost. And in terms of how good she felt about herself, how much the stress was off of her, how much her family felt like she was more present with them. She said she felt like she had 180% return on investment for the non-monetary things. So 10% in raise in salary and 180% in terms of her lifestyle and what was happening. She liked it. She liked it.
Yeah, I love hearing stories about people's journey. Well, we could certainly talk about deepening of relationships all day long because it really is core. And that example you just referenced is that when you do this work, you have better results. You enhance your quality of life for yourself and your loved ones, and that's a wonderful thing to be participating in. So I think we should go to a close here, and maybe you could share some things about kind of your mission and some stuff you've got coming up here, and let's give her a little preview of the next show in this 3-part series.
Okay, well, the next show is going to be Speak Up: How to Have More Impact and Influence, and I'm going to have some really great suggestions that will increase your influence when you're talking one-on-one with somebody, and also your influence in meetings. And I want to invite people to join my Elevate Your Leadership Capacity online program. It's a 6-week program. This is going to be reoccurring, but this beta program, my first one that I'll be doing, which has a lot of bonuses because it's my first one, starts June 19th. And if you go to my website, you can find out where to get more information on that. And I want to remind everybody the importance of helping. We need to all help each other. As a community of women, we can help each other be very, very successful. We don't need to be in competition with each other. We can cooperate and get far better results. So please help this show help a lot of women by sharing this show with other women, by giving us 5-star reviews on iTunes, on Stitcher, and on the new Google Play. And remember that the more we spread the word, the more we help each other, the more we unite, the more impact, influence, and income we'll have.
Nice. I'd like to add something else to that is that you can also, I would suggest you find Sabrina in her Women's Leadership Success group on Facebook and subscribe. Sabrina's always putting up comments and insight and information and opportunities on that page, and you can certainly share a review there. That would be great. I want to build that.
That's Women's Leadership Success is the name of the group. Yeah,
on Facebook, and also that one of the reasons that we decided to do this series is it's very much on with the first part being on leadership listening skills. This part on deepening relationships, and the third part was on Speak Up. These are all part of the Elevating Your Leadership Capacity program. When you looked at all the different skill sets that you've seen help women advance their career or be better leaders in their business, there was there were core areas that you felt were key for women to develop and expand and to elevate. And these were 3 of I think 5 different topics that you're going to be covering in your Elevate Your Leadership Capacity program. So that's part of the reason, folks, why we're doing this series, and why I said, I need to interview you, Sabrina. You need to speak to these areas that you've seen time and time again have made such a difference in women's leadership. So I thank you so much for your time and allowing me to participate actively in the show and interview you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tim. And thank you for being such a wonderful partner in life and in business. Look forward to even more wonderful shows with you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Would you like to be an exceptional leader? Then please join me in this special series, Communicate Like a Leader. In this series, you will hear thought-provoking stories and get insider secrets to help you increase your influence, impact, and income. And if you would like to quickly find out where you are in your leadership development, here's how you can. I've designed a special 4-minute career development quiz, and as one of my listeners, you can get it for free. Just go to http://careerdevelopmentquiz.com. Once you complete the confidential quiz, you'll get your score and suggestions immediately. Plus, you may even qualify for a free coaching session. And lastly, can you do me a small favor? Our goal this year is to get 500,000 downloads of Women's Leadership Success. We have almost 335,000 downloads now. When we have more listeners, we can help more women be better listeners worldwide, more leaders, better leaders worldwide. Empowered women change the world. Here's how you can be part of this women's leadership global movement by sharing this show or the particular episode that you have enjoyed in social media, subscribing and giving me a review on iTunes, Stitcher, and in our Women's Leadership Success page on Facebook. Thanks for your help, and bye for now.
Thank you for joining your host, Sabrina Braham, on another Women's Leadership Podcast. If you have questions or comments, you can email her at sabrina@sabrinabraham.com. Since 1989, Sabrina and her team have helped hundreds of women managers, business leaders, and entrepreneurs with valuable trainings, articles, books, and executive coaching. For additional tips, interviews, and free access to Great Leaders Today mini course, visit www.womensleadershipsuccess.com.